Next, on the news, the Congress is closing, but excitement is building. We're on the heels of a new Pentecost.
Tens of thousands of people attended the National Eucharistic Congress in Indianapolis. I'm Katie Vasquez, and I'll have highlights of this historic event coming up.
Examples of Eucharistic miracles documented by a teen who soon will be a saint. It's one of the ways the Congress brought people closer to Christ. Plus, ahead of the feast day of St. Charbel, a Diocese of Brooklyn deacon who says the 19th century monk interceded on his behalf when his health took a serious turn. I'm Jessica Easthope. Currents News starts right now. A new Pentecost coming out of Indianapolis.
We have a big job ahead of us because there is a lot of faith.
Thousands of Catholics touched by the body of Christ and ready to proclaim the good news around the nation. The 10th National Eucharistic Congress went out with a bang. Nearly 60,000 Catholics all feeling Christ's true presence in the Eucharist. Now the U.S. Church is looking to keep that momentum going, planning the next pilgrimage and the 11th National Congress. Here to tell us more about that fresh off the plane is Currents News' Katie Vasquez. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Jessica. Attendees of the Congress got the same call Christ gave to the apostles: go forth and spread the gospel. It was a message you heard all around Lucas Oil Stadium. And even though eyes are already ahead to the next Congress, this event will forever be a vital part of church history. Take a look. They're energized by Christ and ready to spread the good news. Nearly 60,000 Catholics filled Lucas Oil Stadium for the National Eucharistic Congress's concluding Mass. It's the culminating moment of a 5-day conference that hasn't been seen in more than 80 years.
Everything here was unique that I attended in its own special way.
Every day, people from around the country filed into the Indianapolis football stadium for experiences designed to bring them closer to Christ. From adoration and Mass to breakout sessions and Eucharistic exhibits. Faithful like Shalom community member Chioma Chukama say they were able to find Christ in every corner.
I met Jesus so many times. I think my favorite was literally the everyday Mass, everyday adoration. The time in silence with Christ.
But the main goal was to embrace Jesus' real presence in the Eucharist.
Christ is the new tree of life, which we need to eat, which is technically the Eucharist.
A core Catholic belief that, according to a 2019 Pew Research Center study, 69% of the faithful didn't believe. The U.S. bishops started the Eucharistic revival and planned the Eucharistic Congress to spread the word of Christ in the Eucharist. Vicar of Evangelization and Catechesis in the Diocese of Brooklyn, Father Joseph Jabino, believes that was achieved.
To enter into the mystery of the Eucharist, and that was one of the pieces that we sometimes forget about, is how important the mysterious nature of our God and of the body and blood of Christ is.
The Eucharist.
Celebrating the concluding Mass was Cardinal Louis Tagle, Pope Francis's envoy to the Congress. Cardinal Tagle says the Holy Father wants this crowd to lead a conversion to the Eucharist, a call that everyone from parishioners to Brooklyn Bishop Robert Brennan are eager to follow.
That's what really touched me. Sometimes we go to Mass, we just listen and go home, but we don't really evangelize the people.
We have a big job ahead of us because there is a lot of faith. And we have to nourish that, and we have to nourish those people to be missionaries.
The next Eucharistic pilgrimage will happen in spring of 2025. Pilgrims will travel from Indianapolis to Los Angeles, which is home to the nation's largest Catholic population. There's also another National Eucharistic Congress being planned for 2033, the 2000th anniversary of the Passion, Death, and Resurrection of Jesus. Jess?
Katie, I know we're all excited to see that. You were with the Diocese of Brooklyn Pilgrims throughout the Congress. What were they saying to you about this event?
Well, all of them said it was a great experience. They learned a lot and they were really moved by it. They said that it really gave them some practical examples that they can apply in their daily lives to really enhance their faith. And they just said it was an experience that they wish they could continue every year because it was really just moving and made them closer to the Eucharist, which was the whole intention of the Congress.
And attendees of the Congress are being charged with now going forth and spreading the gospel. How are those from the Diocese of Brooklyn doing this?
Well, I spoke to Father Joseph Jabino, the vicar of Evangelization Catechesis, and he said that he plans to hold deanery processions, deanery events, and he really wants to focus on adoration because he saw how pivotal it was at the Congress and thinks that would really work well in the diocese here.
Excellent, Katie. Well, thank you so much for all of your hard work and awesome reporting. One of the ways members of the Congress were inspired to spread the news of Christ's true presence was by seeing the work of a soon-to-be saint. This Eucharistic Miracles exhibit has been traveling the world trying to increase awareness of the body of Christ and includes 150 panels of the miracles documented by Blessed Carlo Acutis, some dating back to the 3rd century. People in line say the exhibit can help bring people closer to their faith.
Well, if anybody has a slighting doubt at all about the real presence, and you just read a couple of the miracles, and if it helps move their faith needle, it's going to help them in all aspects of their understanding.
If you really take the time to read these, you can see how amazing it is about these Eucharistic miracles and how they happen. And even better, Blessed Carlo Acutis made all of these at just like a short age of 13 and 15 to help bring all of these young teenagers like me closer to the faith.
A relic of Blessed Carlo, a piece of his heart, was also displayed for attendees to venerate. You can get even more Congress coverage by going online to thetablet.org. Finally, tonight, he has the most miracles attributed to him of any saint. Saint Charbel is known for his intercession in physical, emotional, and mental healings, but yet not many know of him. Well, one Diocese of Brooklyn deacon says he didn't know who Saint Charbel was either until he turned to him for help. Deacon Michael Chirichella stops to bless and pray over people at the Our Lady of Mount Carmel feast. He's done it countless times, knowing how much of a difference it can make.
And I stood up, and he says, take your chair and turn around and face your brother deacons. And they all laid hands on me. One by one.
His diagnosis? Bladder cancer. It was hard to have hope. Then something, or rather someone, showed up.
Around that time, somebody delivered a small statue of a saint called Saint Charbel to my brother's rectory at St. Joseph's in Astoria. My brother's name is Father Vincent Chirichella, and my brother had no idea who this statue was, who sent it.
And with that mysterious package, a devotion was born. Deacon Michael says through the intercession of Saint Charbel, his cancer was healed.
It was really just a miracle from this saint that I never heard of before.
Saint Charbel, a Lebanese monk who lived in the late 1800s, became a core part of Deacon Michael's life. Yeah. And the life of his family. When Deacon Michael's cousin, Mary Giudice, lost her sight in her right eye after stress and multiple surgeries for a knee replacement gone wrong, he knew what saint to bring her.
They gave me every test possible, and they said that I had an eye stroke, and there was nothing they could do. I couldn't see anything. My eye was completely black.
And I said, let me come over to the house with the holy oil, bless her eye.
Then I would take the oil and I'd make the sign of the cross and put it on my eye and pray. 2 weeks later, I started seeing again.
Deacon Michael and Mary's healings are now documented with the family of St. Charbel USA, but their devotion is just beginning.
You got to believe.
We're always at the now what.
St. Charbel's feast day is this Wednesday, July 24th. Brooklyn Auxiliary Bishop Raymond Geppetto is celebrating a Mass at St. Joseph's Church in Astoria. The liturgy begins at 7:30, and relics will also be on display for people to venerate. That is this current news update. I'm Jessica Easthope. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Before we go, one final look at the 10th National Eucharistic Congress. Hope to see you again next time.